Hey guys, welcome. It is Natiluv Tarot, and I thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So I just want to give a quick disclaimer that this is strictly for entertainment purposes only. And also, if you need any type of medical professional help, please seek that. I'm by no means a medical professional. I'm going to do a quick reading because it was requested on Mariah the Scientist. And guys, I just want to say, bear with me. Your girl is under the weather. I'm not feeling well. You might see me reaching down every so often to grab my tissues and things of that nature. I live in Jersey. The weather is back and forth. It's crazy. So we are going to start with Mariah the Scientist. And let's see. I was called to use this deck for her for some reason. So I just want to see what are the spiritual enchanted messages that are going to come out from Miss Mariah the Scientist, because I feel like Miss Mama has a lot on her plate right now, and I'm picking up an energy of she's very lost, like she doesn't know what to do, but she's trying to save face and pretend she does. Okay, Spirit, what are the messages for Mariah the Scientist? Love, career, lighten your load, and dreams. All right. Okay. So for the spiritual messages, she got dreams, career, love, and lighten your load. So see, this is what I'm saying. I'm already picking up that it's obvious that the drama and everything she's dealing with has to deal with her love life, but it's affecting her career. And it's making her feel like she has a lot on her plate. And Spirit is saying that she needs to start paying attention to the intuitive messages that are coming through in her dream, because it's guiding her on what she needs to do. But she needs to get her head up out the clouds to fully understand and use her discernment to know what the messages are saying. When it comes down to it, there's something about her having rose-colored glasses on and not wanting to accept the reality of how things are for her. She's like in denial, because what I pick up too is that Mariah the Scientist, she has a very la loopy-land type of mentality. It's like in her world, she's so in love and she's walking through a field of roses and daisies and lilies. The sun is shining and everything is so perfect and so bright and so beautiful, and the world revolves around her because she's the most beautifulest girl on the world. But reality just shattered for her, because she's starting to realize that that is not really her reality. Like, I'm not saying she's not a beautiful girl. I'm not saying she's not important, but Spirit is saying that's like almost like egocentrism. Like, it's not always just about you, and you need to start you're so into yourself and what you got going on that sometimes you forget to kind of exercise the spiritual side of you to help yourself. And her ancestors are tired of it. They're like, girl, get up out this fog. We need you to come back to earth, because right now you're not doing justice and you're not making us proud at this current moment. So that is like the channel message that's coming through for Mariah the Scientist. Okay. Sorry that I'm doing this on camera, because I've gotten some complaints about why you don't shuffle on camera. Ugh, can't please everybody, right? Mariah the Scientist, Spirit. Mariah the Scientist. Can we get energy surrounding Mariah? Ooh. Mariah the Scientist. That came in reverse. Okay. One more, and we're going to start. All right. So she has the Fool, the Four of Swords in reverse, the High Priestess, and the Six of Swords. So already her spiritual team is basically saying to her, it's time for something new. The Fool card represents new beginning, marching to the beat of your own drum, not being afraid to just walk on a journey alone into the sunset, right? Into the sunset. No, I'm sorry. Into the sunrise, I should say, not the sunset. The sunset is representing the end, and the sunrise is representing the new beginnings, right? But Spirit is saying she can't really do that because she's tired. It's not even so much about physically tired. She's more so mentally tired with everything that she's having to deal with. There's a bit of unrest to her. There's a restless energy to her with the Four Swords in reverse. And Spirit is saying it needs to be the other way around. She should be resting and rejuvenating to gear herself up towards a new beginning. But instead, she's so focused mentally on things that really don't matter And she allows things that don't matter to weigh on her mental so much that she's restless and she's unable to think straight, and she's unable to make the right decisions for herself. Spirit is saying they want her to ground herself. They want her to be surrounded by earth. They want her to touch salt water. They want her to touch dirt. They want her to hug trees, sit under trees, go outside, breathe in fresh air, pay attention to the birds, pay attention to the nature sounds. They want her to quiet herself. They want her to get away from all of the hustle and the bustle, all of the naysayers, all of the opinions, all of the low vibration and negativity. They want her to take time out, almost like she's another one that needs like a eat, love, and pray session for herself, because that will help her tap into her high priestess energy to where she'll be able to use her discernment better, because she's not using her discernment. Spirit is saying it's like, it's weird because she'll get like that feeling in her gut, or something will, like a message will slightly come into her mind, but then she kind of disregards it. She doesn't follow through and listen to it, you know? And Spirit is saying that is a problem, because a lot of what she goes through are things that could have been avoided had she just paid attention to that feeling, that gut feeling that she was getting, her intuition talking to her. So Spirit is saying now's the time to kind of gather up your things with your head held high and move away from the drama, the nonsense, the naysayers, the low vibration, the people who don't mean you well. Spirit is saying she needs a complete reset. She needs new friends. She needs a new place to live. Like, she just needs fresh everything, like a fresh scenery, a reset with her mind, her being like realigned and balanced, grounded. She would do really well with Reiki healing and with a chakra realignment. Like, she needs it, they're saying. And it's funny because with the bottom of the deck, you have the Seven of Pentacles. That's her contemplating on what she should do or what she wants to do. She's not 100% sure. It's like a part of her wants to kind of just walk away from everything and just restart brand new. But there's something about fear. Her feeling like, am I going to be able to make it? Am I going to get the support that I need? And her spiritual team is saying you will get the support that you need as long as you believe in yourself and as long as you align yourself with the right people, places, and things. But if you continue to make the decisions that you're making, where we're giving you clear as day messages on what you need to do or what you need to move away from, and you're not following through, yeah, you're going to continue to have problems. You're going to continue to have problems. Mariah. Okay. Spirit is saying that she's regretting a lot. She's regretting her relationship. She's regretting certain moves that she might have made in her career. She's regretting certain people she let into her life. She's regretting being so open to the public about how she felt about certain things, because now she's feeling like she's dealing with a lot of deception. She feels like a lot of false masks are starting to show, and it's almost like she's telling herself, I feel so stupid. How, like, what, like, why didn't I realize what was going on around me? And she's starting to realize that she put too much trust in the wrong people. And again, she wasn't using her discernment. It's like she made love cloud her judgment. It's like love took over. And this is a case of when you're loving a person more than you're loving yourself. It's almost like she neglected her real self to love on someone so hard, to the point that she became so oblivious to everything that this person was doing, right? And Spirit is saying with the Wheel of Fortune here, Wheel of Fortune could represent endings of cycles as well. It can also represent karmic fate. And it's like, it's almost like she's going through a karmic cycle. But Spirit is saying she does have some positivity towards her cycle. It's just a matter of how she plays her cards right now. Like, are you going to go back to the same nonsense, or are you going to move forward with that fool energy and go towards a new you and make stability for yourself without all of the toxic behaviors and peoples and places and things? She has like a really big decision to make. And I also pick up that this toxic person that's in her energy, which we all know who that most likely is going to keep coming towards her with communication and action, and is going to always be fast paced. And I pick up something like, I don't know why I pick up the King of Wands in reverse, like a very arrogant type of fast pace too, like a person that feels like, I don't have time for this, like, you need to let me know what's up. So it's like almost like it's going to be like love bombing. It's like they're going to come through and be like, you know, I miss you, I need you, showering gifts and trying to do different stuff. But then at the same time being arrogant, almost like, you know, I'm doing all of this for you right now. I need to know, are you riding with me right now? And to me, that's really unfair. And she's so fragile and a bit broken right now that that's not the type of energy that she really needs for herself right now, is what Spirit is trying to say. So she has a lot on her plate, guys, and she has a lot of decisions that she needs to make for herself, and only she can make those decisions. She has to stop depending on other people. Oops. Okay. Let's look at what the Messages of Love Oracle is going to say about her relationship with Young Thug. You know, I'm hearing they should have been soulmates. I don't know why I'm hearing that. Like, I'm hearing that, you know, outside of all the drama and everything, they made such an amazing partnership. But with him doing all that he was doing behind the scenes, it just messed up the momentum. Like, Spirit is saying, if he would have just been faithful and was doing what he was supposed to do as a man in the relationship, they would have had such a long-term unionship, because she is such a lover and a fighter, is what they're saying. She loves so hard, and she actually loves the idea of a family. She's your typical, you know, head over heels romance type of girly. She wants to come home and cook dinner for her family. She wants to have the babies. She wants to, you know, grow old with the same person. She wants to do cute little photo ops with her man and build memories and legacies. That's she wants that. And he would have done so well with the energy of her had he not been doing the things that he was doing. It's so sad. It's just so sad. It's so sad, because she definitely she would have upgraded him in a spiritual and romantic way. Like, he would have, you know what I'm saying? He would have really learned how to love the proper way had he been faithful to her and allowed her to, you know, penetrate his energy with her feminine energy, because she's very she has like a very feminine energy. Like, her Venus energy is no joke. And guys, I'm picking up too, like, behind the scenes, she romanticizes everything, very much soft girl. So like, she's the type of girl, she in the house looking sexy for her man, cooking a meal for her man, loving on him, rubbing his feet, giving massages, ready to sex him down. Guys, I know this is explicit, but she's the type of woman that she gonna have that meal ready, and her man gonna be in the house, and she gonna come give a BJ just because she's just that type of woman. She's trying to please her man and make sure he feels good every way, shape, or form. And he kind of fumbled that. All right. Let's see. Spirit, can we get some Messages of Love Oracle cards for Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug's relationship? Let's see. Scientist. See, I see where this is going already. Yeah. Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug. Spirit is confirming everything we already knew. All right. All right. So she got balance, spiritual lesson, interference, new love, and awakening. So this is no secret. This is public knowledge. With the interference card, it says an external party is intruding on this relationship. So that's basically representing the infidelity on Young Thug's part. Him obviously having consensual sex with other partners without her knowledge and her agreeing to that. You know, he went out and stepped out and was doing whatever. And you know what makes it worse is this man was behind bars still getting cootie cat. And Spirit is telling me he was getting cootie cat before he even went to jail. So this is something he was doing even before he got locked up. So this ain't no, he can't even say like, oh, you know, I was just locked up and I needed some. And no, he was doing this before he got locked up. This is just who he is, right? And Spirit is saying that this is such a lesson with spiritual lesson, because it says this person in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. With spiritual lesson, she was basically, this was part of her spiritual path. She needed him to do her the way he did to kind of teach her a lesson. Because like I said, she's very giddy head. She's very up in the clouds. She's very, you know, almost like a young innocent child who doesn't know much about life. That's how she operates. And Spirit is saying that although she is very book smart and common sense with certain things, when it came down to like love and making decisions involving love, she didn't make very smart decisions. And they said she needed to go through this pain and this heartbreak and this public humiliation for her to understand just how serious it is. Because her spiritual team is basically saying, girl, we're here to guide and protect you, and you're making our job harder and harder, and you're not listening. You're not listening to the messages that we're giving you. Why are you not listening? They're not happy with that. And so they allowed this to occur because this was the only way. Because Mariah is the type of girl, she's such a ride or die, that she was refusing to let go. And Spirit is saying that in the relationship, she's giving too much. That's why the balances card is here. Because it was an imbalance in the relationship. I'm not saying he didn't do things for her. He did. But he didn't give his all. And he wasn't willing to give his all because he chose to step out. You know, and she was giving her all, and she was willing to basically be there to the end of time. She was giving way too much of herself, because what I'm picking up is that she's the type of woman where she's at his beck and call. If he calls and says jump or I need this, she gonna cancel, lose out on money, all of that, to go run to the side of her man. But on the other flip side, he would not have been that accommodating, is what I'm picking up. He would accommodate for certain things or to a certain degree, but when it came down to losing money and all that stuff, he wasn't going to be down for that. But she would have. And that's where the problem is, because her spiritual team is saying, why are you going above and beyond for a man that would not pay you any dust in certain situations? And they don't like it, and they weren't playing with her when it came down to him. So right now, Spirit is saying that this is her awakening. Awakening says someone is understanding a spiritual transformation. She has had time to sit with herself. Now that her back is against the wall and people are turning against her because of the position that he put her in, she's starting to realize where she went wrong and how people are untrustworthy and how she has to move different. And it's weird because when it comes to like friendships and outside people, she moves accordingly to how she needs to. But when it comes to love, it's like love, it makes her lose her mind. It's like love paralyzes her. Like she doesn't understand how to fully function and apply those same concepts that she would to outside people into her love life, because she gives too much, and she just doesn't, she doesn't think that, you know, she has this mentality, like, I don't want to say victim mentality, but she has this mentality like it's not going to happen to me. And Spirit is saying, you see, it happened to you. You shouldn't walk around thinking that you're untouchable in certain situations, because anybody can be touched. And that's what Spirit wanted her to like learn. So now Spirit is saying that although she's understanding certain things, she still needs to keep patience, because there's still lessons to learn, and it's going to be slow and steady. So she can't rush the process. She just has to be willing to do the work. Spirit is saying there's a lot of shadow work that she has to do. She has to heal her ego and her shadow. Because, you know, your ego and your shadow, you're working through your anger and your sadness. And she is unhealed to a certain degree. And so she needs to heal. And Spirit is saying she needs to feel all of those emotions. She needs to go through all of that trauma and just learn how to alchemize that, transmute that energy, right? With the new love here, she will love again. And Spirit is saying new love is promised to her, and she will meet another gentleman if she makes the conscientious decision to not go back. Because that's another thing I'm hearing too, that he's calling her back and his energy is calling and calling. And it's like I see the Two of Pentacles in my head. Like it's a yo-yo effect. Like she's fighting back and forth. Like she's not sure if she should go back or she shouldn't go back. So she's fighting with herself right now. And her spiritual team is telling her like, girl, don't do it. Because if you don't do it and you focus on yourself and do your eat, love, and pray, you're going to meet a new person, the person of your dreams, the person who you deserve to have. You're not going to be in the same toxic cycle, you know, because your mind will be at a different point. Like your mind will develop a certain way to where you're more grounded, you know, you're more understanding, you're using your discernment. All right. I don't know. I'm picking up something about her new music that it'll do okay. It's not going to do superb, is what they're telling me, but it'll do okay. I also heard that she will be continuing to release music. They're saying something that her beauty is very captivating and she would do well with some type of like fashion or modeling, is what they're saying. Because she has a beautiful, beautiful face, is what they're saying. Spirit, any messages? Spirit, any messages for Mariah the Scientist in this tea deck? Let's see what our tea deck. What's that? Legal court paperwork. Oh boy. She might have some legal issues. Or she might be... Guys, is she going to court? Because I know like the phone calls got, you know, leaked out and it created a lot of drama for her, a lot of issues with business and stuff like that. I'm wondering if she's gearing up to sue. Reading up, doing the research, learning more, gaining insight. Yeah, she's going through a spiritual awakening. She's starting to pay attention and start to take in information because she is so... Guys, when I tell you she's embarrassed right now, she's embarrassed. And she's dealing with a lot. So don't let her fool you. She's dealing with a lot. The cleanse. I told you she's going through something deep and spiritual right now. She's starting to prep herself to start healing. Start doing some shadow work for herself. I felt it. Detective. So this is the problem with her. Now that she knows the cat is out the bag with everything that was going on with Young Thug, she's going to continue to snoop and find more and more information. And the message from her spiritual team is that, why? You already heard what you needed to hear. It's time to stop digging. Because it's only going to make you feel worse and make you spiral. It's not helping you. You know what you need to know. And Spirit is also saying she saw the signs from before, but again, she ignored her intuition. Yeah, fed up. She's tired, guys. She's tired. What's this? Heart to heart. So I do feel like she will have a conversation with Young Thug about everything that took place and went on. And she's probably going to tell him, it's not probably, she's going to tell him how disappointed she is because she expected better. And the fact that she's publicly humiliated is what hurts her the most. Honeymooning, love on the brain, talking often, feeling all the feels. Guys, I'm telling you, I think there's somebody else trying to come into her energy. Sipping. Yep. She's just sitting back, relaxing, having a drink, and hearing all the gossip and all the rumors and all the lies and all the truths. That's why I said because she's being a detective, she's getting a lot of information and picking up a lot of the social media gossip, and it's effing with her head. It's the last two. And she's come across a lot of receipts. So she may go through a little phase of her trying to be like, you know, that party girl to try to heal her broken heart, but Spirit is saying that's not going to work. Snack. She is going to continue to have like this soft sexual appeal to her because there's something about her that's very angelic, but it draws men in because they find it still be sexy. So her beauty, her feminine energy is not going to decline. It's going to be there. And there are men that still like desire to want to be with her in the industry. And then we have Skirt. So yeah, she will be taking some type of trip. I don't know if it's going to be like a spiritual trip, or she might be going somewhere nice like Bali, Thailand, the Maldives, or the Bahamas, somewhere tropical and pretty and nice that will also allow her to be around water and, you know, land and trees and fresh air to kind of get her mind right, because she knows that is what she needs. And I'm about to close this reading out with messages from her spirit guys, like what they want her to do or know. Spirit. They want her to focus on her home and her stability. Focus on her home and the nurturing of her mind, body, and spirit. Okay. They want her to stop dealing with toxic stuff because that's what causes her blockages and delays. She needs to know when to cut people, places, and things off. They're saying it's time to take charge energy when it comes down to the way she thinks and her communication, because she needs to start communicating her boundaries and what she's feeling and what she's trying to do with herself, because a lot of people tend to overshadow her. And then with the Chariot card here, Spirit is saying it's time for forward movement. You know, it's time. They're saying it's almost like, okay, yes, you're going through a hard time. Yes, you know, it's traumatic and it's sadness and it's emotions and you're crying and all this stuff. But Spirit is saying it's okay to be emotional and to cry and to release, because you're releasing, you know, when you do that. However, they want you to also pick yourself up and move forward. Heal. Get the help that you need. Go to therapy, journal, exercise, ground yourself, go to nature, get Reiki healing, get massages, eat better, surround yourself with better people, start making better business moves. And I'm also hearing too that she needs to right her wrongs with certain people. So again, there are people that she may be beefing with, or, you know, not in the best light with these people. She needs to actually find a way to reach out and have a heart to heart and apologize for the part that she has played, and then, you know, let bygones be bygones and move forward. That is the message for her. But guys, just pray for Mariah the Scientist, because I do pick up a sadness, and I do pick up she feels a little bit alone in the situation, and she is dealing with a lot, because she's dealing with, you know, public humiliation, you know, falling out with certain people in the industry because of Young Thug. And she's dealing with heartbreak on top of that. Like, it's just a lot going on for her, and it's all being played out on social media and to the general public, and it makes it even harder to like heal or to run away and hide, because how can you know? So guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. It's Natiluv Tarot. Please like, share, and subscribe, and my information is in the description box below to book a personal reading with me. Bye, babies.